안녕하십니까. 리플의 다스야입니다. 오늘 한국어 세션 여기까지입니다. Thank you. Welcome to our panel. My name is Tatsuya Kohrogi from Ripple, and I'm the Senior Ecosystem Growth Manager for APAC. So today, we're going to talk about the XRPL ecosystem's opportunities and challenges. And what makes XRPL Ledger special is the ecosystem around it of growing community of developers, validators, companies, and creators building together to shape the XRPL ecosystem. So as you know, XRP is the native digital asset for XRP Ledger and designed for the efficient tokenization and exchange of crypto-native and real-world assets. Today, we'll hear from the builders who are directly shaping XRPL in very different ways, but deeply connected ways. So very excited. So we have, from one angle, we have XRP Cafe, who is bringing culture, creativity, and everyday users into the ecosystem through their NFT marketplace. We have Asseto, SecondSwap, and GoldStation as well, who are pioneering institutional-grade real-world asset liquidity solutions and commodity-backed tokens that bridge traditional finance with on-chain innovation as well. So together, they represent this full spectrum of what XRPL can do, from onboarding the next wave of users to building the financial rails that connect assets, markets, and communities globally. In this session, we'll explore how these projects complement each other, the challenges they face, and most importantly, how we as an ecosystem can unlock the next level of growth. So let's dive in and hear directly from the builders shaping the future of XRP Ledger. So let's do a quick round of intros.
Thank you, Tats. I'm Moonkie. I'm one of the co-founders of XRP Cafe. We have been building on the XRP Ledger for now almost 4 years. And our team is best known for XRP Cafe, First Ledger, and Joy Wallet, which are all retail applications.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bridget. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Asseto. We are a tokenization platform dedicated to building the yield infrastructure for stablecoins. And we are fairly new to XRPL, cannot be more excited to be building on it. And very luckily, we have been included in Hong Kong Cyberport's pilot tokenization program. We're going to be tokenizing a private equity fund on the XRPL. Spoiler alert, it's a name that, it's an OG crypto name, and we are tokenizing some of its shares before it goes to IPO. So super excited about this and cannot wait to start the discussion.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm very grateful that everyone took off on a Sunday to come learn more about the XRP ecosystem. It's really heartening for us to see so many people in the audience today. My name is Kenny. I'm the founder and CEO of SecondSwap. We're a multi-chain, decentralized exchange. We've already deployed to Avalanche, Ripple, and Ethereum. And I'm excited here today to announce our deployment to XRPL. What we're doing is that we're bringing liquidity for real-world assets into the XRP ecosystem. And that begins with a trade finance deal similar to what Bridget just said. We're doing a $60 million transfer trade finance. What that means to most people in the audience today, if you're a small business owner looking to borrow to grow your business, you can do that in the future with Ripple and SecondSwap.
Hi, my name is Sung. I'm from Creder. First, I want to thank XRP Korea and Ripple to give this wonderful opportunity to meet this amazing XRPL community. So before I dive in, I just want to ask one simple question. What is the most valued and trusted asset throughout human history? Egyptians, Romans, your grandparents? It's too obvious question. It's gold. So our holding company, ITCN Group, we operate the largest gold exchange in Korea. And at Creder, my company, what we're trying to do is we're bringing that same gold with trust onto the XRPL chain. So we think that we are the most suitable and most capable team doing it. And we think that bringing the trust onto the chain is the key to the true mass adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I'm really excited to have all of you here. These are the builders building the future of XRPL and use cases as well that are shaping the future of finance and community cultural use cases. And so let's go right into it. Let's talk about ecosystem and value movement in the past and present on the XRPL. So my first question for the panel is, compared to other blockchains, where does XRP Ledger have a unique edge in?
I think the unique edge that the XRPL has is in its native features, meaning the features that come with the protocol, so the native text, the native AMM, and this is because these native features remove the middleman out of the equation. They remove the fees and the risk that you find in other chains because of smart contracts. Someone has to develop the smart contracts and maintain them, and they add fees and they add risk. So the XRP Ledger, the edge to me is that those features are baked into the protocol, and those middleman fees and risks are removed.
And so for me, I come from decades of experience in traditional finance. So the day that I see the tech stack of XRPL, I start to realize that a lot of it actually mimics what we have been doing every day in traditional finance, including IOUs, trust lines, asset controls. It's definitely the perfect chain for us to build financial transactions on. So basically for me, the fact that XRPL has proved itself in processing large volume of financial transactions at minimal cost and at an optimal speed that no other chains could potentially live up to. I think it makes it the perfect chain for us to build tokenization on.
Yeah, from my perspective, I see the world as multi-chain. I think everyone agrees now with all these tens of thousands, 100,000 of tokens. Blockchains seem to be getting to that number as well. Everyone has ambition to be a blockchain. So when we do an assessment of what chain to deploy to, our assessment of XRPL was that, number one, it has long duration. It's been around for a long time, so it has brand name recognition. You know, something that's needed for every business. That's why on a Sunday, this audience and this whole auditorium is packed. So having a loyal following. The second part of it would be its quick settlement, this wide distribution from around the world. So if you go into any XRP other events, as Tat will probably attend to, they're also very well packed and very well attended. So you have this community that is very loyal, that will follow. But there's also downsides. It's not that easy to build on different chains. On the other side, there's things like DeFi composability that would be really, really useful. I think Bridget, you mentioned a few different terms, trust lines, maybe MBTs, different constructs that Ripple has today. But I would say that if you have more builders in the ecosystem that can execute and build everything that we say that needs to be there, then all the people in the audience today will have something to do and have something that they're really proud of.
Before I start saying anything, I'm just a little bit surprised by like so many people came here Sunday afternoon. So I'm just a little bit surprised. So we've seen many mainnets, many projects come and go throughout the development of this blockchain technology, each promising speed, scalability, interoperability, and so on, you name it. Those are important factors, of course, I agree. But from the perspective of RWA project like us, what the things we value most is stability. So XRP Ledger has been running for more than decades now. I thought it was like 10 years, but it's
Going into the 13th year.
13 years. So it's really even longer than Ethereum I've heard. So that proves something. So the project like ours, we deal with this highly valuable asset like gold, and the track record is most important thing that we look for. So we can't make this risky decision or experimental choices to deploy our asset. So we have to take very conservative approach, and XRPL gives confidence to do so. So yeah, that's my reason.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. It's good to hear from this as well. And then let's kind of shift into the other side as well, then on the present side with some of the challenges, right? So let's talk about from each project, what are some of the maybe growth challenges that you see or any type of challenges that you have with your project right now? What's the biggest challenge for your project?
For our projects, I would say the biggest challenge is having a small team. It will be very good to have more developers on our team. So definitely expanding our team will be very useful. So we can build much faster all the applications and help bring more people into the ecosystem. Beyond that, we're also brainstorming this idea of creating real-life XRP cafes, so like physical cafes, say like Starbucks, but XRP Cafe. And yeah, we're hoping that that idea comes into fruition. We would like to have one at cultural centers, so Seoul, Tokyo, and similar cities.
We should get an audience check. That's like, Korea likes cafes, right? Like real world cafe, like XRP Cafe. Would it be nice to have a real one in Korea? That's some positive signal. So Moonkie, if you can come talk to him on how we can make that a reality in Seoul. That would be a really cool opportunity. But that's a big challenge. That's
Thank you.
exciting.
So for me, the biggest challenge that we've been facing is like the assets that we tokenize tend to offer a stable return. For example, we have done money market funds and bond funds that all yield an APY of from single digit to at most double digit, which are teens. So for the on-chain community who is more used to getting on multiple times of return at a very short time window on real-world asset tokenization may not be the first stop that they go to. So what we have been doing around this is to embed our tokenized assets more into everyday scenes where stablecoin balances would actually accumulate. With those balances, people tend to be okay with more lower level of return because what we seek from those allocation is the preservation of their wealth or their stable coins. So it's a different type of mindset. So while you're trading, you still have some money you need to save for future consumption. And this pocket of money could be allocated into real-world assets. So for example, for XRP Cafe, I'm not sure whether you have any membership plans that people are actually going to deposit any pre-deposits into the memberships. And those money could be used to invest into money market funds or bond funds so that when you're not spending, you're making money.
I think my easy answer here is sustainability. I think Tat just mentioned that Ripple has been around for 13 years. 2 of my kids are older than Ripple. That's what it means to have long term. So if you think about long term, you want Ripple to be around for another 13 years and beyond. And to create sustainability and survival for that requires secondary markets. XRP requires secondary markets. One big thing that happened recently is NASDAQ tokenized stocks. Now you can actually trade tokenized equities on the spot markets. The world's largest spot market is now being tokenized. Guess what? NASDAQ also owns another business called NASDAQ Private Markets. It creates secondary trading that does not exist yet in tokenized markets. And that's what SecondSwap is doing. So creating sustainability in financial markets requires a healthy primary and a healthy secondary. And that's what we're bringing to the XRPL ecosystem.
Yeah, our biggest challenge, there's too much actually. Like custody, audits, regulations, regulators, Korean SECs, financial commission, so on. Yeah, there's a lot. But on the business side, the biggest problems that I face, is that the actual market of gold is huge, and the tokenized gold market can be small, only like portion of it. So when we say gold market is big, and people assume that tokenized gold market is also big, but it's not actually. It's still at the early stage. So if the tokenized gold market is small, there can be some problems. For example, market could be very volatile. The actual gold market is not that volatile. It's gradually increasing, right? But due to the limited size of the pool, the size of the tokenized gold market can fluctuate, can go up to a certain extent, to go down to a certain extent. So it's hard to create derivatives or extended service based on this volatile market. So this is one of the problems that I face. And also this is the genuine problem that all RWA project is facing. But it's increasing at the moment at a really fast pace. So it'll get there one day, but that's...
Actually, Sonny, can I ask you a question? You bring up an interesting quandary. Tokenized gold market is rather small comparatively, but what if you were able to find lenders that would lend to anyone that's holding your token and finance against it? Because you said tokenized gold is going up. So essentially your collateral is going up, so I can borrow more against it. Do you think that would help?
Of course, that's one of the core areas that we're looking into. So we're trying to build up more utilities to this gold asset. We have to give you guys reason why we have to hold gold token instead of the real gold. So the lending is the core area there where you can borrow against, because it's gonna gradually go up, and you don't want to hold cash in that economy, right? So yeah, that makes total sense.
Great. I would like to move on to the future part of the ecosystem. So we'd like to kind of pick your brains on what is the future outlook that you're most excited about, what's upcoming for the ecosystem. You kind of gave us a little bit of a preview of your vision, but Moonkie.
Yep. So for starters, it is important to know that XRP and RLUSD have full legal clarity. Beyond that, I think it's important for people to get familiar with the native features that the XRP ledger offers. That means the DEX, the AMM, as well as the upcoming amendments. We have the permission DEX, permission domains, and all these other features that are going to allow institutional players to more easily access the ecosystem. So yeah, if you can get familiar with the ecosystem, you will then understand where it's headed and why, and how it's different from other chains.
How's XRP Cafe gonna support that though?
So our focus with our applications is to drive retail adoption into the ecosystem. So when it comes to XRP Cafe, NFTs represent more than digital ownership. They represent power users. And more than power users, NFTs represent communities of power users. And that means very highly skilled people. And in these communities, they meet and they create new opportunities for each other. So for example, on Ethereum, you have the Milady Maker NFT collection, which is very influential in their ecosystem, and it has kind of become their one of the faces or identity of the Ethereum ecosystem. So at best, NFTs can become a very powerful force for adoption, and that's the environment that we try to create on the XRP ledger for creators.
Thank you, Bridget.
So for us, I think the vision for the future is very simple. We believe that a lot of the financial assets, and including some of the physical assets, would be tokenized or even issued natively on-chain. And to do that, obviously, we would need partners such as SecondSwap, such as Gold Station here, who offer different types of assets, who offer liquidity via DEXs, including AMMs and other books, a complete architecture. And I forgot to mention one thing during my answer to the first question. A key differentiator of the XRPL for tokenization is its built-in compliance. Because without built-in compliance, institutional capital is not comfortable to come on chain. So this is the one key, most important factor that's going to bring XRPL to be the ideal chain for tokenization, I think, for the next years, 13 years to come, and maybe more.
So what I'm most excited about is the ability to leverage XRPL's network for its distribution. In the future, or actually at present, we are doing a $200 million tokenization deal for a business in Singapore, based in Singapore. They are now borrowing, paying 8% to a bank in Singapore. If I could take that 8%, take that $200 million, bring it to XRPL on-chain, and to democratize access and distribution to everyone in this audience, you can receive 8% just like the bank, and we can slowly disintermediate the banks, which is actually what the design of this ecosystem is for and why blockchain exists in the first place. But guess what? There's also hurdles. Number one, we have to KYC all individuals because everyone that is eligible to be an investor has to be part of a permission pool, which we'll create. So there's still obstacles to be there, but what I'm most excited about is the potential to leverage XRPL's network for distribution.
Okay, I'll make it short. So we actually discussed about this. Kanny just mentioned like lending. So I think using this gold and able to use it as a collateral, it's not just a lending or borrowing scheme. We're just bringing back our like own Bretton Woods system, right? So we don't have to be in this debt cycle, and we're protecting our asset. And while we're protecting it, we'll have means to use it, and we'll have the full transfer ownership. So it's not just technology, it's just getting our like so-called Bretton Woods system back. So I think this means a lot. And well, if I can add a little, we can now make like new derivatives like XRP 20%, gold 5%, and BTC and Ethereum. Yeah, we can make like fun stuff around it. That's what DeFi is all about. That's one of the reasons why we try to put our asset on the blockchain rail, so it can help you grow. I mean, not help you grow, but it can do a lot of fun stuff with it. We're just starting initial stage of this whole transition of digital finance, and I hope XRP and Creder, Gold Station, be a part of it.
Yes, so we're coming to a conclusion of our panel, but what we've seen today is that XRP Ledger is just not defined by one project or one use case. It's an ecosystem in motion, right? We got all these different types of use cases, and these are the builders here tackling a different piece of the puzzle. And so together, they're showing us how XRPL is uniquely positioned to deliver a network where value moves seamlessly. So here's my invitation to everybody right now. We want to think about where we each fit into this ecosystem. Whether you're a developer, enterprise, investor, creator, or participant, there's a role for you in building the next chapter of XRP Ledger. So don't just watch this ecosystem grow, be part of it. Build on it, participate in it, shape it. The next wave of growth is going to be coming from the connections we make here today. And so do us all a favor, say hi to someone new, make a new connection, maybe even a new friend here today. And yeah, because that's how ecosystems grow. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.